Microsoft Excel, this unknown. How many times have you heard about it or seen your colleagues use it, but you have no clue what it is? And you feel the need to start understanding what it is and how to use it? Well, this is exactly the video for you. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Andrea and I'm part of the Thularis team. If you don't know us, you should know that Thularis is a digital lab specifically created to inform about project management tools like Microsoft Office and similar ones, and much more. Please subscribe to the channel and click the bell to stay updated on the latest news. Before diving into what Microsoft Excel is and how to use it, let's briefly talk about the history of this program. Microsoft Excel was first released in 1985 on the Macintosh platform. Only 2 years later, in 1987, Excel was released for the Windows platform. Obviously, over time it has undergone numerous updates, the most significant of which can be summarized as the 2007 version, when the program shifted from the classic drop-down menu interface to a newer graphical interface with so-called ribbons, icons. Although drop-down menus didn't disappear and are still there. Later, from 2013 onward, with the integration of Microsoft Office into Office 365 and the switch to a cloud-based system, it began to harness the power of the Internet and artificial intelligence. But first, let's start by discussing what Microsoft Excel actually is. We can define it as a particular type of program generally called a spreadsheet. And what is a spreadsheet? It's a tool that allows you to perform calculations, as the name suggests. Not necessarily only numeric calculations, but also complex functions such as logical functions. This is the primary purpose for which Microsoft Excel was created. However, I believe the main functions for which this program is used in the workplace are actually two. One is the calculation function we just described. The other is using it as a visual summary table. What this means we will see in detail later. But I can tell you that the enormous popularity of this program is also due, above all, to its extreme versatility in switching between these two aspects. This, in my opinion, makes it very, very easy to process the information we input into the program. Sometimes to make it understandable, for example during a meeting where we need to present. And moments later, to perform operations on the data itself to obtain other information. I believe this is exactly what makes this program so valuable, the ability to be used both as a technical tool and as a presentation tool. In fact, these two functions represent a very important part of the daily activities carried out within the office of any company. Now let's move to the practical side, which, as you may know or will discover, is what distinguishes Thularis, being able to convey information to make it immediately practical for everyday use. So, how do you use Excel? To be immediately active and skilled in using this program, I want to start with what I consider the easiest aspect to learn, but no less important. In fact, I would say that in the daily life of an office or any company, this is probably the most widespread and necessary aspect, data management, in order to make it understandable to others. As I told you before, this is one of the strengths of this program. Therefore, the description I am about to give will focus on this type of use. Later on, we will describe in more detail the other aspects of using it as a spreadsheet. As you can see, the Excel interface appears as a table made up of rows and columns. Inside this table, we can enter our data simply by typing on the keyboard, inputting letters and numbers. At the top bar, there is the so-called ribbon or toolbar. All commands are grouped within various subgroups, divided by their function. We can navigate through these subgroups by clicking on each name. For example, the home screen is the main screen, where the basic functionalities are grouped, which we will start to see in the next video. If you're interested in learning more, the video link is up here on the top right. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave your comments, and we'll try to answer every question or clarification. Also, if you have ideas for topics or deeper insights, write to us and we'll gladly consider making a new video about it.